Hey everybody, this is Elle Nagy from the Unapologetic Women Empowerment Dynasty, and you're listening to the Unapologetic Women podcast, the show for women who choose to live their legacies unleashed, unlimited, and unapologetic. If this is a space you're curious about, visit unapologetic-women.com. Today we're talking about thriving beyond boundaries, unveiling success secrets with Carmel Brown. Carmel is an accomplished entrepreneur and business leader with a wealth of knowledge and expertise in sales, marketing, and business development. As the director of the Proven Group, Carmel has built a reputation for her innovative and creative approach to business and her unwavering dedication to helping her clients achieve their goals. Carmel's commitment to excellence is evident in everything she does. She believes that building strong relationships and creating a culture of trust and respect are critical to success in business. Her innovative approach and dedication to delivering results have helped the Proven Group become one of the most respected and successful consulting firms in the industry. Thanks for joining us. This is Carmel.
So thank you for saying yes, finally. And thank you for trusting me in creating this space for the conversation, which I know you have so much to contribute in the realm of wisdom for women, that I'm just really honored that you said yes. And so thank you for that. So my darling friend, I think that we're coming up to our friendship anniversary as well. It's probably been about a year that I've known you, and kind of interesting for me. Every time that we get on a call, I fall a little more in love because there's just so much of you to love, and so it's a blessing to be alive at this time and getting to meet the women behind the successful women in the business realm today. So thank you. So let's just dive right in. Let's just go there, Carmel. With the question of all questions, what does it mean to you to be an unapologetic woman?
What it means, I suppose, that I've learned over the years is to just be who you are and do what you want to do, and don't feel like you have to explain it to anybody, or maybe the words justify to anybody why you do what you do, both personal and professional, I suppose. Probably more in my professional life because a lot of people will comment on the amount of hours that I work. But I think I've found it, just to answer your question though, is not to justify what I do, and don't feel I have to explain.
That's an interesting how many hours you work. It's as though on the one side, society has raised us to be these high achieving women and saying that we have to outwork and outplay everybody in our space in order for us to be top of our game, in order for us to be respected. But then on the other hand, it's that, but now you're doing too much. Like you're working too many hours, you're training too intensely, you're like, you're too much, too intense, too everything. And for the most part, it's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, that's right.
So you reach an age and you just kind of go, I can't give another rat's ass because this is my life. This is like nobody else's life. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is me doing the thing in real time. I know for a lot of us, well, for most women that I've spoken to, something happened. Majority of the time, it was multiple events that got us to that, enough moment. Was there something for you that comes to mind where it was like a gift from life to make you realize that, no, this is your life. It's not for other people to comment on. This is for you to create for yourself.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, Elle. I think it's just when you get to, or for me, when you get to a stage in your life or whatever you're doing and you actually take ownership of it. You take ownership of what you're doing because it feels right, you know it's right. And also for me as well, probably setting boundaries. And what I mean by that is setting boundaries for I may not be as accessible to, I can't be everything to everyone at all times. So that was probably a big thing for me because I was always very like, yeah, sure, no worries, yep, and didn't know how to say no. So I've really learned that due to the fact that we all only have the same amount of time in each day. And I think it's really important how you use the time because if it's not used wisely, you can end up not wasting it, but you can be so much more productive in whichever way. And I know you said to me once, and it wasn't that long ago actually, and it has stuck with me, is if you don't give yourself the time that you need to do what you need to do so you show up your best every day, then you're not giving then the people that you interact with your best. So that was really, 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 I don't know what the word is, really, I'm so glad you said it.
Yeah. I think it comes back to that whole self-love piece and the fact that it's still so mucky. When people talk about self-love, they can so easily go into the narcissism discussion as well of we are being selfish. But what I've come to understand in my life personally is that when I just give, and it came from a good place, I'm not going to say that I was a chronic people pleaser because I really wasn't. But I did have a very servitude mentality, right? So in order for me to be a woman of value, I have to be of service to other people, and then they can love me, and then they can like me, and then they would want me in their lives. And I have so much to give, and I have an extraordinarily high level of energy, majority of the time anyway, that I can give a lot. But what I've come to understand was that if I don't invest time in myself, so if I don't love myself first and foremost, I really am like, even though I'm showing up extraordinarily compared to majority of people, it's still not my best. And I knew that in the back of my mind. So the selfish thing is to not invest in myself first and then show up and give you my best. That's actually selfish, even though we are conditioned the other way. We're conditioned, especially as women, to be slaves, quite frankly, to be martyrs. And if we're the good martyr mother or the good martyr wife or the good martyr whatever, then we get a different interaction with people. But at the end of the day, I'm like, if I really love you, would I want to give you my not best? Is that really love? Because then love has become very warped in society. And I love how you said we're not wasting time, because I don't think we're wasting time. I think that every time that we use, it's like money. We are spending time currency. And you are either going to spend your time in a way that you feel it's been an incredible investment and receive the return on investment, or you're going to spend your time for instant gratification, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that comes back from it, right? It's just going out. It's just like when you just spend money on chocolate. It's instant gratification, baby, but your ass is growing in the same time, and you're going to have to go to the gym more and invest more time there if you want to have incredible health.
That's it.
So it's about becoming more conscious for me, for women, about how are you investing your time? Are you, first of all, investing to get a return on investment, and then even going further and go, well, and what is the accrued interest that you get from the time that you're investing? Or are you just spending money from I want to buy your love, I want to buy your respect, I want to buy your attention? Because that's, in my experience, not the best investment. Like, that's just spending. It's spending and receiving.
Yeah. It's all about spending the time and making the time and having the time is to build relationships with people, regardless of what space that they're in, whether it be, in your personal life, your professional life, wherever it is, even if at the supermarket, even the person serving you. Like, not that you stand there, but I mean, it's just to show that be courteous, be respectful, and I suppose not be so wound up in your own world that then, I think there's enough people out there that become short, a bit grumpy, and I just think it's just really being respectful of people and building your relationships when and where you can, because that's what it's about for me in life for everything.
I so agree. Even if that relationship is for 30 seconds, we flew over last night to the Gold Coast, and I engaged with every person that took my ticket, every person that checked my passport, the flight attendants. I engaged and had many conversations with everybody. And my partner turned to me at one stage and he goes, "Can you please stop being so bloody friendly? Because can you see how shocked people are when you engage with them?" I go, "Yeah, but they're shocked. And then do you see them smile?"
Yeah, that's right.
It's almost a moment of what? Really? And I call them on their name because they all wear name tags. So I would say, "Thank you, Chris. That was an amazing flight. Thank you for the service," whatever it is. And really look them in the eyes as though they are my dearest friend. And there is that moment of shock. And then you just see people melt the facade and become real. Can you imagine what world we would live in if people just took their heads out of their bottoms and be present and just really engage with every human being that you are blessed with from 1 second to the next, whether you're at the grocery store or standing in line in the bathroom. I always have random conversations with interesting women in public toilets. Can you imagine how different the world would be? And it is about having the boundaries that I respect myself so much that I can respect you as my equal human being.
That's right.
It's such a different world that we are living in.
And I think it just sort of makes some people's day as well, because imagine all the other conversations that they're having, or not even sometimes the acknowledgement from people, because they can look at them as if, well, you're here to serve me or to do whatever the position is. So I expect it from you. So I'm not going to be extra nice to you for it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a funny thing, but to me, it's very important.
Do you think that technology is making that even more pronounced in people, because we have automated so much in business, and now we have email lists, and we kind of just send this email out to all the people that we don't even know on the email, and most of them just delete it or put it in the read later file or unsubscribe? And do you feel like technology has made us even a little bit more detached from the humanity within us, and therefore all the beautiful people that we share this planet with and who interact with us so that we can co-create our experiences?
I do. I really, really do. Because automation, like when I say it is a beautiful thing, as far as it helps, it allows you to keep moving and keep going. So everything's so fast paced. But I also feel you do lose, when I say the personal touch, in that if you send out an automated email as a touch point saying, "Hi, how you going? Met you 3 months ago when we worked with you on this project, blah, 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 blah." And unless you actually read their response when it comes back, you really still don't even know how they feel about the project, what they're up to now, because you didn't send the email in the first place. So it's not even in your mind. Yes. It's when you get the response back from the automation and it says, "Oh, hi, thanks for reaching out. I'm doing this and that and the other now, and I really appreciate you taking the time to email me." And sometimes when I see that, I think, I did and I didn't, but I'm really glad to hear that this is what you're doing now. But the world's fast, everything's fast, business is fast. And I feel like with the automation, it helps you keep up with things. But really, to be quite honest, what it does is it just allows more room for you to keep going to do something else. Yeah. That's what it does. And then that creates another automation, because you've created this thing, now you've got to keep that.
So you play in the HR field. So you very much kind of about how is business impacting leadership and how is leadership impacting business. And so what is the change that you have observed in the playing field? And let's keep this female driven. I mean, this is the Unapologetic Women podcast after all.
Yes, of course.
Changes that you have seen playing out in the space of business, leadership, women in leadership, and the impact, the dance between the two, let's call it that.
I've seen a lot of change in that, especially pre-COVID. There's always a pre-COVID story and a post-COVID story. Pre-COVID, and we've actually run a lot of training as well for women in businesses, corporate, where they either don't have the confidence or haven't been given the chance, invested with skills. They've got the knowledge, though, to be able to step up to that next level and be the leadership team in a corporate world. We've ran courses to train them, facilitate it. That was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, what I'm probably tending to find is that, because so much change, everyone, no one knew how long it was going to last. Then when it kept lasting, it's like, oh my God, is there actually going to be a way out? And I think that caused that panic, like, oh my gosh, inverted commas, if I get to continue to live my life, this is how I'm going to live it. And that's probably the change that I've seen in that now. For hypothetically, if I use those example of the women that we trained pre-COVID to have the confidence, etc., to do what they want to do, stepping out of COVID, it's like, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do because I can. I know I can. I've got the skills. I've got the knowledge. So please step aside and let me do my thing.
Yes. Do you think COVID made business real for us? Like we came to understand, and I always say to people, I have been gifted the gift of going, this could be my last day, not from a morbid point of view, but every day could be my last day. So I'm very conscientious in how I invest my days. Like every day for me, I want to touch somebody's life. I want to create something epic. I want to have an adventure, and I want to tell somebody that I love them. Those are my core standards for myself that has to just be met every single day. And I feel like more people have come to that realization of, no, like this is the real thing. What I'm doing matters. And I don't have time to fart-ass around with fear anymore. Like let's get over all of this crap. And it's like we're taking it's like taking less shit. Like we don't sweat the small stuff like we used to.
Exactly. And I think when you use the word fear, I think that's probably where I use the word confidence, and they're so closely related, but I think, fear was probably the word to use because that's what it was about. It was always probably feeling, either put down, whether it was intentional or not intentional, depending on hierarchy. But then to come out of COVID with I'm not going to be scared anymore because who knows when it is going to be the last day. Once again, not in a morbid sense, in a sense that, oh my God, I may not have had a chance to do everything I wanted to do. I wanted to do it, but I was a bit scared. But now I'm just going to do it. Yeah, that's it.
So in a way, I would almost say that COVID freed us, liberated us from the fear.
Yeah, I think it definitely would.
Especially as women, because we also had to start being, and I've always believed that we are equal and different to men. I don't really buy into the general narrative about men and women and all those interesting things. But it's almost as though more women realized once again, because they had their partners in close proximity. They weren't just living, past each other, to kind of go, no, if I want to be your partner and I want to be an equal partner and feel proud of myself in this partnership, it's time for me to step up. It's time for me to let go of all their darlings and demons, as I call them, or fears and excuses, quite frankly, as to why we are not living extraordinary lives, and just give ourselves permission to be extraordinary, because we freaking are.
Yes. Definitely. And I think, once again, if COVID didn't instill that in people and still actually remains, then even that's a lesson learned, I believe, for some people, because I don't know, in some way, I think, everyone was given like a second chance. It was a time to just stop, breathe, reflect, what is going on, although it's okay to say it now because we're looking back. At the time, certainly wasn't saying it. But in that respect, I just think it has been really like a reset, a lot of people. And I just think that's a really good thing.
Taking a moment to call all extraordinary trailblazers, visionaries, and possibilitarians. Get ready to unleash your inner brilliance with a touch of elegance and a dash of sass. It's time to dive into the art of self-leadership, a journey designed exclusively for phenomenal female founders, artists, and leaders like you. Hey gorgeous, yes, you with the unstoppable spirit and the audacious dreams. You're not here to play small, you're here to craft a legacy that turns heads and sparks revolutions. Through the art of self-leadership, we're about to recalibrate your entire existence. Say goodbye to those old belief patterns that whispered about self-sacrifice. Let's dial into your soul's deepest truth, your self-actualization, and do it with the grace of a ballroom dance and the confidence of a catwalk strut. Your journey, my dear, is a masterpiece painted in the hues of your vibrancy, catered to your desires, and fueled by your fiery potential. We're not just offering a consultation, we're inviting you to a tete-a-tete with your next monumental triumph. Are you ready to RSVP for this journey? The link is flashing like a neon sign in the podcast episode description, or you can saunter over to our elegant domain, unapologetic-women.com. Darling, your unapologetic self-leadership journey begins now. Toast to your legacy with sophistication, embrace your inner sass with style, and stride forward with a flair that's unmistakably you. The art of self-leadership is your backstage pass to a life that's glamorous, impactful, and unapologetically authentic. Ladies, let's make them stare. Your greatness is about to hit the spotlight.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to have the rug pulled out from under us so that we can land on our asses and have a different perspective because we have a different point of view. And I think that for me, I have to say I was fortunate. I knew that from the moment COVID hit, I took a step back and go, whoa, why is this happening for us? Like, what are we not seeing? So even COVID, I had a very different experience from most people. I wasn't afraid during COVID because I just kept on going, what are the patterns? What are we here to learn right now? Why is this happening for us? As I do believe everything happens for us.
Yes.
And on the one hand, I'm so delighted to see how many people have taken that as their turning point. And on the other hand, I'm also sometimes a little bit sad to see how many people have just slid straight back to the old modus operandi.
Yes.
And so they are unintentionally going to create the next cycle for us because the collective needs to readjust, not just some of the collective. And so we all know that life has a beautiful way of giving us our lessons over and over again until we learn them. And it's been my experience that they get progressively more potent.
Yes.
How much more potent we want than COVID people in order for us to go, okay, all right, let's all take a collective step back and create better. Create better.
Yeah.
Who knows? So I want to be very respectful of your time today as well. So what do you take an unapologetic stance for in today's world?
As I said, probably like at the start of the conversation, probably because like when I say time, but it would be more so how I actually spend my time. I am very, when I say I'm business driven, but it's not about money. I'm business driven in the sense that I love what I do, and I won't apologize at any time ever for what I do, but also to how much I do with it. I'll never, within reason, I'll always say yes to an introduction. I'm a very nothing ventured, nothing gained type of person, because I feel that if I say no, that could have been my next opportunity. I say it all the time. NO is an acronym for next opportunity. Whether that's, if I said no, I'm missing out on that. But also, too, if someone says no to me, that's okay. I'll just move on to the next one, because there's always a next one. So I probably won't ever be unapologetic for I suppose my vision and my want to, I just love meeting people. I love meeting people. I love connecting people, and I love building relationships. That's just what that's my why in why I do everything. And that's what I love to do. And a lot of people say I'm very good at it, and I feel that I am. And I think anything that you love, you are good at. And by doing that as well, it's being able to help. At the end of the day, it's always to be able to help someone. And that can be either whether it be through our businesses, or whether it be the fact that, as you know, we introduce people to each other all the time. But it's just because we meet such incredible people. We say, oh, you've got to meet Elle, you've got to meet Carmel. But it's just that connection, and it's the global connection. And that's another thing as well, like us being on the screen today. Once upon a time, it would be really weird, but now it's not. It's actually it's acceptable. And the amount of people I know now across the globe, and, you know, even taking the business internationally and around the country, and just the people that I'm meeting and helping, not only as clients, but also to other business owners around the country. If we need their expertise, they then jump in and work with us. So it's win-win, and that is our overarching philosophy. Not only in the business, it's my overarching philosophy of everything I do, where everybody wins, and if everybody doesn't win, it just won't work.
I actually think...
So I went off on a bit of a tangent then, as I do.
Yes, I love that, because I actually want to, help is one of those words that for me is like outdated. There's something new that's wanting to come through consciousness, because I think that we're moving beyond the help. And I think it is the win-win. Like, let's stop focusing on helping people, and let's start creating win-win-win scenarios in humanity.
That's right.
And then, because for me, helping is still like one below the other. There's still that, oh, I'll help you get up. No. We're all equal. Let's create the next win. Let's create the next win. Oh, I'm going to use that. We have to write a post about that, Carmel. Like, let's create the next win, instead of let's help other people. Because the fact of the matter is, every time that somebody wins, we collectively win as well. And that's when we can start eradicating the competitive mindset, which quite frankly is at the foundation of so much of why people so-called need help, is because of the competitive mindset that says, if I win, you have to lose.
That's exactly right.
Let's upgrade our language, people. Let's stop helping people. Let's stop helping. Let's start creating the next win. And I'm going to end up, because I think that's brilliant. Like, if anything, that's the message today, I think, for to receive. Stop helping. Start focusing on creating the next win. And in that, we will change society forevermore. Goodness, this was short, sweet, to the point, as always. Carmel Brown, you are my Caramello bear friend. I love you. Thank you so much. This was gold, and I really appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Elle. It's always we could talk for hours, and you know that, because we have had in the past. And and I just want to thank you as well for having me, and for the listeners out there to your podcast. The 3 words for today, as Elle said, is where everybody wins.
Where everybody wins. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listeners, thank you so much for joining us again. This is a short one today compared to our normal ones. So yes, you're welcome. You can say thanks to Carmel, and you can listen to her twice, because this was gold. So take the next half an hour and listen to this again. And we'd love to hear from you. What is the wins that you are creating in society through your life at this time? Like, let's start celebrating the wins. And if and how can we support you in co-creating the next level win? Let's do that. Let's start all co-creating the next level win. Until next time, Always remember, we get to live unleashed, unlimited, and bloody unapologetic. Have an amazing day further. Cheers.
Thank you for joining us on another empowering episode of the Unapologetic Woman podcast. We hope you found this conversation as inspiring as we did. Remember, embracing your strength and authenticity is a journey worth taking, and we're thrilled to be part of it with you. If you've enjoyed our discussions and found value in the stories we share, we have a favor to ask. Your support means the world to us, and there are a couple of simple ways you can make a big difference. First, take a moment to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your words have the power to reach other incredible women like you who are seeking upliftment and insight. By leaving a review, you're helping us create a ripple effect of empowerment that extends far beyond these virtual airwaves. Second, think of the remarkable women in your life who would resonate with our message. Share this podcast with them, whether it's a friend, a family member, a colleague, or even a fellow pioneer you've connected with. Together, we can create a community of unapologetic women who uplift, support, and inspire each other. Stay connected with us on social media at The Unapologetic Women for updates, behind-the-scenes moments, and engaging conversations. We love hearing from you and building this vibrant community together. As we wrap up this episode, remember that your journey matters, your voice is vital, and your impact is immeasurable. Let's continue rewriting the narrative and embracing our unapologetic selves, one episode at a time. Thank you for being part of the Unapologetic Women movement. Until next time, stay true to yourself, stay unapologetic, and keep dancing to your own tune.